U.S. President Donald Trump says one of the two National Guard members who was shot yesterday has died, while the other is fighting for his life.
One of the guardsmen that we're talking about, highly respected, young, magnificent person, started service in June of 2023, outstanding in every way. She's just passed away. She's no longer with us. She's looking down at us right now. Her parents are with her. It's just happened. She was savagely attacked. She's dead. She's not with us. Incredible person. Outstanding in every single way, in every department. That's horrible. As you know, the other young man is fighting for his life. He's in very bad shape. He's fighting for his life, and hopefully we'll get better news with respect to him.
U.S. Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom and Air Force Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf were shot in Washington yesterday while on patrol near the White House. The FBI has launched a terrorism probe into the incident. The suspect has been identified as an Afghan national. He's said to be in serious condition after having been shot by another service member. Officials say he came to the United States in 2021 after assisting the U.S. in Afghanistan. He was granted asylum in April. The U.S. government says the suspect arrived in the U.S. through a Biden-era program to resettle Afghan nationals. That program is now suspended. The news isn't sitting well with our next guest. Shawn VanDiver is the founder and president of Afghan Evac, a nonprofit that helps resettle Afghans who assisted the U.S. during the war, and he joins us now. I want to start, Shawn, by playing a clip from President Trump last night.
We must now re-examine every single alien who has entered our country from Afghanistan under Biden, and we must take all necessary measures to ensure the removal of any alien from any country who does not belong here or add benefit to our country. If they can't love our country, we don't want them. America will never bend and never yield in the face of terror.
Shawn, the president went on to speak, in a very disparaging way about Afghan immigrants specifically, and immigrants maybe to an extent generally. But your response to what the president had to say?
Well, Ian, thank you so much for having me on today. And my heart goes out to the family of the guardsman who lost her life, and the guardsman still fighting for his life. No family should ever face that sort of violence. Look, the president is using this as a political cudgel. The truth is, he already took all the actions to curtail immigration for these Afghans. Last week, on Friday, they announced a policy. They're ratcheting down likely a little bit more, but since day one, President Trump has betrayed our Afghan allies. And it is outright un-American to use this tragic event as a political tool to sow division. When it seems odd to me that the president's not mentioning that he defunded all of the programs meant to keep us safe here in the homeland. This guy, we don't know what happened with vetting, right? But the National Counterterrorism Center today said that he passed all the vetting from when he arrived through to April 2025 when President Trump granted him asylum. Sometimes people radicalize after they've arrived, or if they're Americans while they're here living their lives. And we had, until President Trump defunded them, in place to prevent that sort of thing from happening. We don't know if that would have done anything. We won't know until we understand what gaps were missed here. But I think that it's premature to vilify an entire community over the actions of one deranged individual.
Yeah, and I want to ask you more about that, because there have been lots of tragic shootings, mass shootings, and quite often the reaction has been from the president to question mental health or, ask for thoughts and prayers and not necessarily attack a large group of people. But in terms of Afghan evac, has that been a way that people have managed to get into the United States who shouldn't be there?
No. Look, Afghan evac stood up while Kabul was falling to help make sure that everybody had the information that they had. The truth is, we haven't moved anybody. The U.S. government has moved everybody that's come in here. You can't get into the country without the U.S. government moving you or allowing you in. What we did do was work with the Biden administration to build enduring welcome. That's not how this gentleman came here. But we built Enduring Welcome, which is the single safest, most secure legal immigration program in the United States government's history. And President Trump shut that all down. Routinely, over and over and over, this administration kept making our country less safe by dismantling the national security, the post 9/11 national security apparatuses that we've all been kept safe by. And I think it's egregious that he would betray our wartime allies and our veterans by trying to use this to cause harm to immigrants, not just from Afghanistan, but from 19 other countries. And they're trying to look at every person that has gotten a green card since the Biden administration because they want to take away their status and they want to kick them out of the country to puff up Stephen Miller's deportation numbers. And it's just not okay. Ronald Reagan would be rolling over in his grave. He described the shining city on a hill as a place that if it had to have walls, the walls had doors. If you had the strength and the heart to get there, you were welcome.
Particularly for our audience in Canada that may not know, who are these people who your organization has helped, and why should they be coming to the United States?
Well, I have great news. These are folks that stood by not just American forces, but also Canadian forces as we fought our country's longest war. These are folks that kept us safe, that translated for us, that let us know when something bad was about to happen, that often took life in our name. We made a promise to them that if they stood with us, we would stand with them and we would bring them here. And then politics got in the way. Congress established programs that were inadequate, that moved at an inadequate speed. And the Biden administration just pulled out without having a plan for all these folks. But we made them have a plan. We built Enduring Welcome. And when Donald Trump took over, we were moving 5,000 Afghans a month through several third countries. And moving them to the United States safely, securely, and not a single person that came through Enduring Welcome has committed a crime or an act of terrorism. They're making our cities and counties better and smarter, and it's a real shame that the president and his colleagues would turn this into an opportunity to vilify them.
Shawn VanDiver, founder and president of Afghan EVAC. Really nice hearing your perspective on this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.